So, James, should I finish up last Sunday first?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Last Sunday, I mentioned that I used to give a lot of talks to conservatives, Christians, and at different rallies and things like that. And I noticed that, and patriots, and some liberal events as well. But I noticed that with the conservative Christians and patriot people, there were not many young people at their event. And I used to ask, why don't you have young people here? They should be learning about this. And no one really ever said what it was. But then when there were some young people there, I would ask them, why don't you attend events? And they would say they hate their parents. And I'm like, why do you hate your parents? They would say because they overdo it. They are into much of being a patriot or Christian or whatever, right? And so I've been wondering, why is that? Why is that? And I realized that whatever you call yourself, that becomes your identity. And you start to live by that and try to force it on other people. And so the patriot felt like they had to go out and save the world, save the children, because they had identified with being a patriot. And a Christian feel like they have to go out and preach to everybody. Because God says, spread the word, go before the world and spread the gospel. And it doesn't mean that at all, but because they have identified with that, they call themselves that. That's what they think they are. And it feels like a mission. And the liberals think that, oh, I'm a liberal, I don't care about anything, I'm free, I can do what I want. And they have a mission. And so with the rest of them too. And so the message in that is that you gotta stop, if you really, really wanna be free, you gotta stop identifying with anything. You have no identities. Because everything you identify with, you call yourself that. I interviewed a woman who thought she was a man on the Father's State. Did y'all see that? Yeah. And it was so interesting because they identified with being a lesbian, to the point that they thought they felt like a man, and they put on a man costume, meaning they took the hormones and things, they developed a beard, they looked like a man, but inwardly she made it clear she still was a woman. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And what did you think about that interview? What did you get from it?
She said it was a mental disorder, correct?
Yes.
I mean, so that's just a disorder that she has.
Hold on a minute, I want to get you on mic. Go ahead.
I thought it was quite interesting. One thing that came to mind when I watched it is how I remember being, in the traditional Christian church for a little stint.
Right.
And I feel like Christians separate that type of so-called sin from everything else. And as I was watching Buck, I realized that it's the same.
Yep.
It's the exact same demon, no matter what we're calling it.
Absolutely.
And it's really, and I know it sounds, you say this all the time, but a lot of what you say, as simple as it is, it takes a minute, at least for me, for it to really penetrate, for me to get it. Like I hear it and I understand it, but I don't get it. But there's something about that interview where I got it.
Yeah. It's all the same. Evil is evil is evil. It doesn't matter what name it cover up itself with. It's evil. But Satan tends to put different titles on itself, what people do, human beings do, because they don't understand what's going on. But you're right, it's the same. Evil is evil. And evil hate us. And evil want to kill us. And it cover up by giving itself certain names. So stop calling yourself any name. In order to die, you must stop calling yourself anything, or you're not going to die from death. That dark life. Amazing, huh? Did you see it? You watched it?
I did.
What did you think about it? Oh, hold on. Wait for the mic. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, and I thought that Buck carried herself very well, and, with her condition, seemed to sort of have an understanding that, yes, I have this problem, I can overcome it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would agree with you that if she does all the forgiveness, she could ever overcome what has happened to her.
She can, absolutely.
She can? It seems so difficult.
100% be free from it all.
Are there examples of people in that condition that then come back and become perfectly correct?
Yes.
I have not seen them.
Yeah. I interviewed a hermaphrodite. You know what that is?
Yeah, both organs.
Yeah. And their mother had raised them that they were a female, but they didn't feel like a female, right? They knew as a kid they were not a female. They were a male, but the mother dressed them up as a woman because he had both body parts. And all his life he fought to be a man, but he just wasn't treated that way, so he tried to accept it. And now he's in his 30s or 40s. And once he heard about forgiveness, go and forgive and watch those thoughts and stop identifying with them, now he's free from that. Totally free. It's as though it never happened.
Amazing.
And so for Buck, that could happen too for anyone because it's just an illusion of imagination. It's not even real. And so he may have to do something to bring the body part back. You know, erase the man image, but he can definitely get back.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you say you saw it as well. Did you get anything from it that you had not realized before?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what they both just said, but I think overall, I think there's just a lot of people like that maybe that he was just very open. He was very willing to sit and, you know, agree or disagree or just consider certain things that you were saying. And I think there's just a lot of people like that are, when they hear the truth, they're actually willing to consider it. You know, I think there's, that was my biggest takeaway without getting too long.
I've never interviewed a woman that went to man thing. It's always been men going to the woman thing. It was interesting to interview a woman to man. And most people, the radicals don't want to hear that. They don't want, because they totally have accepted their hell, they don't want you to know that there's a way to overcome. They don't care, they love their hell, they love their misery, so they don't want. But a few die.